Hello there and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky. I am the Orange Genius, but you may call me Eric, and we left off after having won the championship in the Grand Arena. Well, it appears the second lieutenant of the, intelligence division was holding back a little bit, but we'll find that out at some point, won't we? So, Gransel was kind of not Gransel, but Oliver was kind of abducted by his old friend there, and, from the Calvinian army or whatever, and he can't actually accompany us to the dinner party, which is such big of a, it's not a bummer. Okay, let's see what these people have to say. Congratulations! A big match like that is going to be burned into my brain for a long time to come. I hope I can work alongside you guys one day. Hey, congratulations. That was an impressive match. Seeing you young bracers in action is a pretty big motivator for the rest of us. I can't just let myself get left behind, you know. Those other guys are probably drinking themselves to death in the bar because they can't believe what happened. I've already heard. Congratulations on your victory. Thanks, Elnan. Kurt tells me it was quite impressive. It was quite a sight to behold. It sure was, I guess. I don't think we'd be able to take them in another fight, though. Not easily, at any rate. Some say victory is equal parts effort and luck. But it seems that the two of you have discovered some secret third influence, which, with each passing day, one's skills are further honed. As time passes, you'll grow into that victory and realize you truly did earn it. You think so? Yay! I really like your pep talks. Well done in the arena, and good luck tonight at the victory banquet as well. Thanks, we will need it. Okay. Are we really going to need it? Probably. Nobody interesting in here? Oh yeah, there you are. Looks like the band's back together again. Let's see that dance that won you the tournament. Of course, I'd prefer to. That is not a thing. I'd preferred to win it myself, but I'm not bitter. I was beaten fair and square. My English teacher at school would have slapped me if I would have written something like that. Gross. Oh well. I will rest here, and then we're gonna go to Gransel Castle. I will not strip Zane naked, by the way. I will not do that this time. Did Oliver run off with my... Did Oliver run off with my Death Blow 1? That probably means he's gonna sneak to the castle anyway. Oh, are we going to the castle already? Just to remind you, since you're going to be staying there after the party, we won't be able to leave until morning. I think we're ready. Well, let's show the gatekeeper our invites then. I don't know why I'm so nervous. Probably because we don't get invitations to big events like this very often. Hey, this is the castle of Her Majesty the Queen. Unless you have official business here, you need to leave. Hey. Hi there. We're sorry about the other day. Oh, it's you two. You still staying in town? Yeah, we still have some business to take care of. We have a formal invitation, so by your leave, may we pass? Huh? A formal invitation. Received directly from His Excellency the Duke. What? It's a giant! See, right here, written invitation. Handed over invitation. Let's see. To Zane and his team, in appreciation for your performance in the competition, you are cordially invited to a dinner party. Oh, okay. You guys were in the martial arts competition. Right, and I heard the winning team was led by a huge Eastern guy. So is that you? You've got it. We would greatly appreciate your help. Makes sense. The head maid told us you'd be coming. You're missing someone. What happened to him? It's kind of impolite, I know, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it. We're the only ones coming. Ah, that's, well, a pity. No matter. Please go in. I'm never going to see that Deathblow 1 quartz again, aren't I? Now entering Zane and Company, victors of the martial arts competition. Open the gates. I think he cast the Hellgate just now. Oh no, he just made them. Okay, fine. That's what I always screamed when I would cast the Hellgate. Oh well. Wow! It's like the Haken Gate, but there's something more impressive about it being part of a castle. I'd bet it's more solid too, since it's the royal castle. That's part of why it's impenetrable. Ever since the nation was established, no enemy has ever broken through the Anborg Wall. The capital's been ravaged by war numerous times as a result of mutinities and insurrections amongst the nobles. But even then, the castle held the rebel army at bay and protected the royal family and the refugees. Or so the stories say. Wow, that's pretty neat. Very much the sort of tale one would expect from a nation with such history. Now, welcome to Her Majesty's Grancel Castle. Go right on in. You will be met by a welcoming party inside. Enjoy your evening. Holy wow. Whoa! You can't say that. I've never seen anything that compares to this place. It's not just pretty, it's got history. I can really feel the traditions and rules out of the old kingdom here. Welcome to Grancel Castle. You're Zane and his team, correct? Ugh, Captain Amalthea. This isn't really unexpected, but even so. That's right. We come at the invitation of the good Duke. Oh, and you are? Haha, pardon me. I am Captain Amalthea of the Intelligence Division, head of Grancel Castle's defense. I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations for your championship victory. Watching the match was truly a spectacular experience. You're too kind, really. And may I say, I didn't know that they made women as young and pretty as you into captains. You must do fine work. My, but are you the flatterer? But I'm not so young as you or your bracer friends. Estelle and Joshua Bright. It's been some time since the last incident in Sice, hasn't it? Yeah, I guess it has. Quite some time. Unfortunately, the matter concerning Professor Russell is yet to be resolved. It appears that he and his granddaughter were abducted by a group of nefarious individuals. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? I'm afraid not. We left that case up to the full-fledged bracers and came to Grancel. We never even heard the follow-up report on it. Ha ha ha. I see. That is truly a shame. Well, with the resources of the Intelligence Division, it's only a matter of time before the culprits are arrested. Have no fear on that score. What the hell is with her? Understood. We trust you take care of the professor. Oh, absolutely. Now we must show you to your rooms. Shea, if you would please do the honors. Yes, ma'am. See to their needs, but do not bore them with any idle chatter. Do I make myself clearer? Yes, ma'am, I understand. Very good. Now, everyone, I hope you enjoy your evening. For my part, I must bid you farewell. Now that is one fine woman. I hate to say this, Zane, but your taste in women is crap. There's nothing fine about that fox-faced harpy. I think that might just be his favorite type of woman. I just tend to find that women like that turn out to be pretty good people once you peel back a few layers, so to speak. You're hopeless. Not that it matters, but you really do sound like a dirty old man sometimes. Oh, my honor. Oh, sorry about that. You were supposed to show us our room, right?
Yes, please allow me. Pardon my not saying before, but I am Shea, a maid here at the castle. I will be at your service this evening from the dinner party until the morning. If anything is not to your satisfaction, please do not hesitate to let me know.
Thank you very much. Will you please show us to the room then?
Certainly. It's on the second floor.
If I had a watch, I would check it right now. Oh, wow! Get a load of that chandelier! Talk about classy! Hush, Estelle. What's that way?
That is the throne room. Her Majesty uses it to receive personal guests. It hasn't seen much use in recent days, though.
I see. But the Queen's condition is the Queen's condition really that bad? Isn't the birthday celebration coming up soon?
Oh no! It's just that it's the head maid who tends to her in the royal keep of late. I shouldn't speak on subjects about which I'm unfamiliar with. Come then, shall we? This is the room where you will be staying. Please go on in.
Okay. Pardon us. They didn't even plan for Oliver. Holy Stragas! I never imagined we'd ever stay in a place like this. Nice! This will make for a good story later.
I believe there is still some time before the party. You're free to explore the castle, but the security areas are off limits. I ask that you refrain from entering those areas.
Can you be a little more specific?
Most significantly, the royal keep where the queen resides. It is a small place of sorts, built on the garden terrace on the roof.
Garden terrace. That sounds nice.
The terrace is where Her Majesty greets the people of Gransel during the birthday festivities. So, you cannot go into the royal keep itself, but you may visit the garden terrace if you like. As for the other restricted areas, there's a royal guard room and also the treasury, I believe.
The royal guard room. I guess we're still wanted for questioning about all that terrorist stuff. There. Oh well.
Yes, the intelligence division is currently occupying it. Entrance is restricted, so please abide by the rules.
Understood. By the way, what are the others who were invited doing?
They've already arrived. I imagine they're relaxing in their respective rooms.
All right. So Mayor Klaus is here too.
Oh, yes. He arrived some time ago. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be off. If you need anything else, please contact the first floor waiting room.
Now then. Still, Joshua exchanged a look that went unnoticed by Zane. Hey, Zane. We want to go and walk around the castle for a little bit. We'll be back in time for the party. Huh. It must be nice to be so young. I'm worn out after the tournament. No problem, have fun. Me, I'm going to kick back and relax in this oh so luxurious room. Luxurious, whatever, I can't speak that word. We need to get as much done as we can before the party starts. First, Julia told us that we have to talk to the head maid, Hilda. I'd like to say hello to the other invitees too. We likely know most of them. Oh, that we do. Holy schwauzer. Anything I can do something with. Read out. Oh, speaking about reading out, since we're in the royal castle now, I've got some important things to do. Cornelia, Chapter 1. The Imperial Chronicle. I stood there upright in front of the revolving door, scuffing the heels of my boots against the ground. Pulling slightly on the collar of my trench coat, I dropped my chin and gazed at my partial reflection in the curved glass. Aside from my short cropped hair, I wore a modest-looking, double-breasted leather raincoat and a pair of special order steel-reinforced boots, both of which are at first glance appear to be the most common of common apparel. Yet they were in fact much more than the naked eye could detect. My ordinary average appearance. It was of just as much importance today as it had been on any other day in times past. Not far off, the sound of footfalls echoed rhythmically like the steady beat of a pendulum swinging back and forth as the throngs of those coming and going to move. Oh wow! As the throngs of those coming and going moved quickly along the cobblestone avenue, enveloped and tinged silver by the morning mist. At times, the calling voice of a street peddler disrupted the steady flow. But as soon as the hawking cry faded away, it would resume its course. Each morning that I found myself setting foot in the Imperial City, I also found my surroundings to be unchanged and stained by the same somber tone of gray. Snatching up a magazine from the underarm of a street vendor, I tossed a few mirror into the left hand, poised as expectantly behind his back. The Imperial Chronicle, the magazine I read so often that even the ink bleeds were familiar. Roughly flipping open its cover, I scanned the headlines along the top of its monochrome pages. Then suddenly my breath caught in my throat. At the very bottom of the local news page, I found those letters, that sequence of characters which I had not heard nor seen since the time of that life-changing incident. My eyes instantly gravitated to the spot. For a time remained fixated. Ein Selnate. The very meaning of those letters became lost to my senses as I stood motionless, my gaze fixed on the same line of text, until it all seemed to coalesce into a single blotch of ink. After a few seconds of blank comprehension, my vision settled, and I wrenched my eyes to the beginning of the article. As I began to read, my memories verged on a single point in my past, and then slowly started to run in reverse, heading for that fateful event 3 years prior, when this name was first introduced to me. It was on an afternoon all those years ago, on a day not unlike this one, where the capital was overshadowed by its typical gloomy aura. I was a little younger than now, a 22-year-old boy who stood silently in front of the boutique door as usual, double-checking his appearance before lightly treating over to Micht's Imperial Factory. It was on this day that it had been arranged for me to receive a new job from Micht. The shop owner himself, although he was a drab, middle-aged man, I, being the morbid enthusiast I was, had found myself as one of his few regular customers. I headed down a dank alleyway, and after passing through a partially rotted wooden gate, I could see the soft glow of the flickering orbital light just outside the entrance of the factory, whose structure was halfway below street level. I first began receiving jobs from Micht about the time when dissension became to occur in society over the 100 Days' War. It was during this period that relations between the liberal kingdom and the empire were at their worst, and the importation of ordnance had become almost non-existent. Conspiring with underground elements and planning a smuggling operation, Micht made me out to be his accomplice in crime, for the job which I received his hand was none other than that of the courier. Being nothing more than a commoner in my teens, at the time I met him, and a juvie devoid of any connections in life besides, I naturally jumped at the opportunity without a moment's hesitation. Yet, even after relations with Liberal had returned to some degree of normalcy, I realized I was in no mood to give up my specialty, which focused mainly on the delivery of stolen goods. The reason being, there was no job out there which could bring the kind of mira this one did. With an unrefined and inconspicuous appearance, I had countless times before hidden items of various sorts in my hat and trousers, and made my way hither and thither between the borders of these neighboring nations. And though to my delight my wallet had become increasingly laden with a bounty of monetary rewards, I had routinely changed my alias as a precautionary matter, so much in fact that these false names had built up into quite a list over the last few years. I had been known as Phil, the frivolous Rooney, the trickster, and even Chris, the coward. However, Micht had always called me by one name, Toby. This was the identity I had used for my initial job, and the one I liked above all the others. Just gonna continue reading this, and after that I'm going to end the episode. I'm still gonna read this out though. The train station. Hello there, Toby. You've come at just the right time. Ah! Greeting me with these words, Micht shuffled slightly in his seat behind the counter. The baked confection he had been eating was ever so carefully placed atop his lap to prevent it from falling onto the floor. He smacked both of his powdered sugar-covered hands together with a clap, and a cloud of white particles puffed into the air. The smell of sweet spices and baked apple pervaded the dimly lit shop. We had an item dropped off no more than a few minutes ago, he continued, turning his seat. Micht reached back and snatched up something wrapped in old magazine paper from off the shelf, tossing it to me. Knowing full well I wouldn't get any sort of answer, I asked anyway. What do we have this time? Laying out my railway and airship tickets, Micht ignored my question and said, "Make sure this gets to the same place as always." In his slow drawl, he added, "It would be in your best interest to keep your involvement to a minimum by leaving the business side of things to me and focusing solely on getting the job done, Toby." I'm sorry about that accent, by the way. He leaned back in his chair and let out a deep sigh. The balls of his fingers kneading the bags under his eyes. Then, once again, his large hand extended down toward the unattended cake resting on his leg. Before the sweet treat could reach his watering mouth, I had already made my way out of the door of this tiny shop. As I walked, the waste paper bundled package bounced around inside the folds of my bag. By the feel of its shape and weight, as it beat steadily against my side, I concluded that the object in my possession was probably just more swag. It didn't make me nervous not to know what it was that I was carrying, for I had done this type of job many times before, and no matter what kind of trouble I found myself wrapped up in, I had always somehow managed to come out unscathed. In truth, my experience on the job had made me tough, and I had become well versed in the art of orbital magic. So it was that when I laid eyes on that rough-looking trio at the station, I felt no more knots of uneasiness in the pit of my stomach that was necessary for someone of my abilities. The platform for the train bound for Liberal was a bustle, with passengers awaiting its eventual arrival. Seeing that the benches were so crammed full of people that they could have very well been a tin of packed sardines, I resigned myself to stand near the entrance as I patiently waited for the train to come in. Twisting my body in order to move the bag to my other shoulder, I noticed the figures of two men. Heads bent together and conversing in an inaudible tone, they stood just beyond the ticket gate, right about where the horse head of the imperial emblem lay embedded in the ground in a grand mosaic of tiles. After a short interim, another man approached and joined in the conversation. From my own perspective, this was one ragtag group I most certainly couldn't have given a passing grade based on looks. Grade 2 based on looks. All three were extremely well built and sported the same haircut. To put it mildly, they stuck out in the crowd like a bunch of sore thumbs. Making sure to avoid eye contact with them as they glanced in my direction, I slung my bag back onto my shoulder and ever so calmly reached my hand into my pocket and ran the tips of my fingers across the surface of my orbment. A woman's voice reverberated within the walls of the station, notifying the passengers that the train had arrived. The low rumble of an orbital engine could be felt in the distance, and after a few moments, a large vehicle was seen rolling up on the shoulder. You know the sound an orbital engine makes, right? I remember. I muttered to myself, "All is well," but the sound of my voice was drowned out by the din of a massive machine. Brakes screeched, and a flash of black light reflected off the surface of the giant iron beast as it came sliding in across the rails. The immense vibration in the air emanating from the moving locomotive and its epicenter let me know that the orbital engine had been put into full reverse in order to decelerate and bring the train to a grinding halt. While being shoved to and fro by the waves of impatient travelers flooding onto the waiting area, I was swept toward one door of a passenger car. As we passed by the conductor, I caught another glimpse of the ticket gate. The men who were once there were now gone, and the only thing that remained was the profile of the horse made of glossy tiles, glaring back at me in a shade of deep crimson. So, one more thing before I end this episode. If you want me to read out all the chapters of this book, I'm aware I will not be able to get them in this Let's Play, but they are still somewhere on the internet, and I would not hate to look for them and find them, and then I would read them out to you if you want to listen to it or get more information about the story. So, if you want that, leave it in the comment section, but for now, I hope you actually enjoyed the episode, and I hope I will see you in the next episode as well. Until next time, bye bye!